How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Guardians of Gamers, and today we just got a recent study, which is not something new, but which is actually we're talking about, and that subject is the fact that video games may be associated with better cognitive performance with children. There we go. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this, shall we? So it starts off saying that a study of nearly 2,000 children found that those who reportedly play video games, let me turn on the AC because it's getting a little hot in here, for 3 hours per day or more perform better on cognitive skill tests involving impulse control and working memory compared to children who had never played video games. There we go. So published today in JAMA Network Open, this study analyzed data from the ongoing adolescent brain cognitive development and study, which is supported by the National Institute of Drug Abuse and other entities of the National Institutes of Health. And this study adds to our growing understanding of the association between playing video games and brain development, said Director Nora Volkow, master degree. Let's see, master something, well, MD. Let's call it MD. So, and then it continues saying, numerous studies have linked video games behavior and mental health problems. This study suggests that there may also be cognitive benefits associated with this popular pastime, which are worthy of further investigation. And although a number of studies have investigated a relationship between video gaming and cognitive behavior, the neurobiological mechanisms underlying the association are not well understood. Only a handful of neuroimaging studies have addressed this topic, and sample sizes of those studies have been very small, with fewer than 80 participants. To address this research gap, scientists at the University of Vermont, Burlington, analyzed data obtained when children entered the ABCD study at ages 9 to 10 years old. The research team examined survey, cognitive, and brain imaging data from nearly 2,000 participants from within the bigger study cohort. And they separated these children into two groups, those who reported playing no video games at all and those who reported playing video games for 3 hours per day or more. And this threshold was selected that exceeds the American Academy of Pediatrics screening time guidelines, which recommended that video gaming time be limited to 1 to 2 hours a day for older children. So for each group, the investigator evaluated the children's performance on two tasks that reflected their ability to control the impulsive behavior and to memorize information, as well as children's brain activity while performing the tasks. So the researchers found that the children who reported playing video games for 3 to 4 hours per day were faster and more accurate on both cognitive tasks than those who never played. That's what I love to hear. And they also observed that the difference in cognitive function observed between the two groups was accompanied by differences in brain activity. And functional MRI brain imaging analysis found that the children who played video games for 3 or more hours per day showed their higher brain activity regions of the brain associated with attention and memory than and did those who never played. And at the same time, those children who played at least 3 hours of video games per day showed more brain activity in frontal brain regions that are associated with more cognitively demanding tasks and less brain activity in regions related to vision. And the researchers think the patterns may stem from practicing tasks related to impulse control and memory while playing video games, which could be cognitively demanding, and that these changes may lead to improved performances on related tasks. And furthermore, the comparatively low activity in visual areas among children who reported playing video games may reflect that this area of the brain may become more efficient in visual processing as a result of repeated practice through video games. And while prior studies have reported association between video gaming and increases in depression, violence, and aggressive behavior, this study did not find that to be the case. Let me go ahead and say that again. And let me go ahead and remind this to all you baby boomers out there. So while prior studies have reported association between video games and increase in depression, violence, and aggressive behavior, this study did not find that to be the case. So yes, you baby boomers, might as well take notes of that. So though children who reported playing video games for 3 or more hours per day did tend to report higher mental health and behavior issue compared to the children who played no video games, and the researchers found that this association was not statistically significant, meaning that the authors could not rule out whether this trend reflected a true association or chance. They note that this will be an important measure to continue to track and understand as the children mature. So further, the researchers stressed that this cross-essential study does not allow cause and effect analysis, and that it could be that children who are good at these types of cognitive tasks may choose to play video games. And the author also emphasizes that their findings do not mean that children should spend unlimited time on their computers, mobile phones, or TVs, and that the outcomes are likely to depend largely on the specific activities children engage in. And so, for instance, they hypothesize that the specific genre of video games such as action-adventure, puzzle-solving, sports, and shooting games may have different effects for neurocognitive development, and this level specifically on this type of video game played was not assessed by the study. And so then he continues, let's see, and also Bader Irchirani, he stated that while we cannot say whether playing video games regularly cause superior neurocognitive performance, it is an encouraging find that one that we must continue to investigate in these children as they transition in adolescence and young adulthood. And so many parents today are concerned about the effects of video games on their children's health and development. And as these games continue to proliferate among young people, it is crucial that we better understand both the positive and negative impact that such games may have. Though the ABCD study, researchers will be able to conduct similar analysis for the same children over time and into early adulthood to see if any changes in video game behavior are linked to changes in cognitive skills, brain activity, behavior, and mental health. LC, the longitudinal study design and comprehensive data set will also enable them to better account for various other factors in their children's families and environments that may influence their cognitive and behavioral development, such as exercise, sleep quality, and other influences. In the ABCD study, the largest of its kind in the United States, is tracking nearly 12,000 youth as they grow into young adults, and investigators regularly measure participants' brains' structure and activity using magnetic resonance imaging, also known as MRI, of course, and collective psychological, environmental, and cognitive information, as well as the biological samples. Well, the goal of the study is to understand the factors that influence brain, cognitive, and social emotional development to inform the development and the interventions to enhance a young person's life trajectory. So the Adolescent's Brain ABCD study are registered to service marks and trademarks respectively due to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And so, yeah. And so, so I gotta say, that's, that this is like, not something new, but at the same time, this little recent study right here, they're like how video games can really improve cognitive abilities of young children. That's actually shows more evidence that video games do not really fire your minds or turn you into a violent person, or like based on what you see on those mass media outlets and these churches and like these crazy preachers and these baby boomers have been constantly preaching over the years saying that, oh, video games cause violence, and especially we had like people like Donald Trump saying, oh, the violent video games are the ones that cause all the big tragedies that happened back in back in early 2018 and summer or 2019, and of course he had to be called out on that and for that nonsense, and so yeah, I gotta say, more data to actually prove that video games actually bring a lot more benefits to our society, and especially it brings a lot of people together and improves mental health and all that jazz, and basically kind of shuts down the entire narrative that's been constantly preached to us over the years by people who just had no had no concrete evidence, or just mindlessly get their data from that's pulled out of nowhere from the mainstream media and all that jazz. And I gotta say, seeing studies like that, that's really, really good to see. And so, yeah, and that's going to be it for today's video, guys. And if you found it to be helpful, informative, and very interesting at the same time, and if you're a huge fan of gaming, then be sure to drop a like as always, because it does help the channel a lot. And subscribe for more content like this. Hit the bell to be notified whenever my next video is going to drop, and get your thoughts and opinions based on this recent news and study. And then go ahead and sign on in the comment section below and get a discussion going. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you all in the next one.